Hello all. This is the continuation lesson of the input output from part 1. There we have learned how we take input from keyboard for a single character, for a string, for integer, float and double values. We'll continue with that. Here when we have to accept other types of values, we have to write different statements to accept many other different types of values from the keyboard. Okay, if you have to accept byte value, we need to write byte n is equal to byte dot parts byte of br dot readline. This br dot readline is used to accept or read one single line from the keyboard, and this byte dot parts byte is used to convert whatever value you get from the keyboard into byte type or byte data type, and then that will be stored into the variable n. Okay, if you have to what do we say, take value of a short data type, then you'll be writing as short n is equal to short dot parts short of br dot readline. Again, the same criteria, br dot readline is used for this method, is used for reading one complete line from the keyboard. Again, this parts dot parts short will convert whatever value you get from the keyboard into short data type, and that will be stored in the value or variable n. If you have to accept long, you'll only be changing the data type here for long and long dot parts long, for boolean and boolean dot parts boolean. If you have to take any other kind also, you'll be only changing data types here. Whatever desired data type that you want, you have to change here, and then you can read that particular data type values from the keyboard. Alright, if you have to accept different types of values, for example, we can achieve effect of scanf from scanf we use in a language of C and C++. There we simply write scanf to what do we say, store the values that we got from the keyboard. But here we use by using string tokenizer class in Java utility package, that is util package it is otherwise called. And string tokenizer is useful to break a string into small pieces called tokens. Okay, if I give my input as a very big line, for example, I say this is my first Java program, all that cannot be stored into one variable. So what does this string tokenizer do is break that bigger, what, a line into small pieces, like this as one token and is as one token, a Java program as different tokens, and then that will make easier for storing it into a particular variable. Okay, for receiving a string str from the keyboard, which is of different types, we write string str is equal to br dot readline. And then if you have to pass the string to the string tokenizer, you write string tokenizer of st. Okay, st, then new string tokenizer of str. These are actually the steps how you use the string tokenizer. Here first string you're reading a line and storing it in str. We are using string tokenizer to break them and using to create new and storing it in variable st. Okay, this whatever you get from here and here. And then when you write all these individual tokens into next token, then we use string token is equal to st dot next token. This str variable is from this whatever you get, and whatever st variable is here, whatever value is here, this comes here. All right, and that can be stored into the next token. If I keep that into a program, don't worry that program looks so bigger and this much length, but only see, this is a comment section we write for everything, accepting different inputs into a line. This is the package, that input output package I'm using, and utility package, class that however you have to define for every Java program, and public static void main, and throws IO exception. We are giving or throwing whatever errors to the execution procedure only, to remove all that type of errors that comes during input and output. Okay, this statement we write when we want to take input from the keyboard. All right, till here it is easy, right? When you come here, we are asking to enter name, age and salary. I took these three because we have all these three in different data types. Name, when you take it as string, age as integer, salary as float or double, you can consider. Okay, for string we are using string str.br.readline. Okay, for reading one complete line and storing it in str and breaking it into tokens using this. Now we write them to in next tokens, because to store them as tokens we using these statements. All these are what we discussed here, these next token statements. I'm storing it in S1, S2 and S3 for our convenience purpose. Then you trim them. After that you store the complete string name in S1. Once you come here, reading name from the keyboard and storing it in S1 is of all this procedure. Okay, then you're reading your age, that is integer dot parse, into S2, in salary into S3. Once you do that, you'll print all them using system.out.println, and here is how you get the output. We are separating them with the comma, age, salary, and we ask them to print. So Ram is the name, 25 is the age, and this is his salary. We are printing them one after the other line because we are using is here it is /n, so it will print in the next line. So this is how you get the output for this program. Okay, reading input with Java Utility Scanner, this class. Okay, this is a package, and let us understand how we read input from by using this package. Okay, when the scanner calls receives or input, it breaks the input into several pieces called tokens, as we have discussed previously. These tokens can be retrieved from the scanner object, and they can be combined together into a line again. These are the methods how you retrieve them, by using from the scanner object, and this is how you have to understand. Next is a method to read a string. Next byte, to read next byte value, like as I said you, tokens. If I write Ram and name as age, I have an integer type, I can read it in integer, so I can use next int to read the integer values. There I can use next to read string values. Okay, this depends on what input you have to take, and at that positions you can use them. Float for float values, next lang for lang values, sorry it is actually long, and next double for double values. All these you will be writing with this statement for scanner class, scanner sc equal to new scanner of system.in. All these type of statements look very similar. Only thing is you have to understand what you are using here and here, and this is however new whenever you want to create a new object, and this will be the data type all the times, oh sorry, variable all the times. Okay, when you have to understand that with a simple program, here again class public static void main throws IO exception, you can write or not. I'm not writing it because I'm not reading anything from the keyboard, therefore I did not write any buffer reader statement here. Please try to understand, because I'm not reading anything, I'm not writing buffer reader statement, and because of that I'm not writing any throws IO exception statements here. And directly enter ID and name salaries. These I'm taking inputs with the help of these statements, Java Utility Scanner package and the statements. That is the reason why I use Java Utility Scanner package here. And scanner sc of new scanner system.in will be writing this, and then id for next integer, because I want id to be entered first, that is an integer value, so integer. Then name is a string, therefore I'm using string here, and salary can be of float type, therefore float salary is equal to sc dot next float. Once you read all this, you can simply give them a printout, or sorry, printf statements to print them onto the monitor with the help of system.out.println. This is how you can also read without buffer reader statements with and with the help of utility scanner package. All right, this is how you get the output. Displaying output with system.out.print. All throughout the program till now, we learned what is system.out.printf. The statement is used to give some output on that have to be displayed on our screen. Okay, to format and display the output, printf method is available in print string class, and all these are the different format characters. Like we use percentile s when we want to read string output. Like here for name, I can use percentile s instead of writing name plus name. Okay, for characters C, percentile C. For decimal integers, percentile D. Float, percentile F. Octal numbers, percentile O. And boolean, you can use percentile small b or capital B. And for hexadecimal and for scientific notations and new line characters. Okay, example, here you can write salary of percentile F and salary. So percentile F, that means this is in float type, so salary will be given in float type instead of using plus symbol, so we'll be using this. Alright, displaying formatted output with string format. This is again character supported by printf again only. This is useful in format method. This method returns string that contains a format output which can be processed in the program. If I consider a simple example, here also I'm not using any throws however exception, because in this example we are only printing with the help of percentile D, N, S and CH as we learned in the previous. So this being integer, percentile D, again this being string, I used percentile S and all. So this is how you have to use them, and this is the desired output that you get. Okay, coming to the summary part, this will tell us what all we have learned in the complete lesson. System.out.print and system.out.println methods are useful to useful to send an output to the monitor. Okay, these two statements, this is for next line and this is for current line, whatever that output that you want in that particular line. And in many programs, user want to input values from a keyboard, therefore we use buffer reader statement and read line for reading one single character and for reading one complete line. We also discuss techniques to accept input that won't illustrate the same. All the different input that you want, it varies for everything. For byte it is different, for long it is different, for double and float, for character, integer, for everything the format or the technique that you want to accept input from that keyboard will be different. Alright, hope everything is clear till now. If you still have any doubts, please let me know in the comment section. I'll make sure I'll come back to clarify your questions. Thank you.